A Cowboy taking his life into his own hands here tonight as we get started, Herbie, with a terrific tackle by the Wildcat. And now Colin Klein will lead the Wildcat football team out onto the field. And this has been the Nissan pregame shift. Kickoff is coming up live from Manhattan, Kansas. And now a look inside. Heather Cox is down below with the Oklahoma State head coach Mike Gundy. Heather.
Brent, thanks so much. Coach, your freshman quarterback Westland comes in with just 4 starts. What's your message been to him about playing in this pressure and in this environment tonight?
Well, he just needs to distribute the ball and play his game, not try to do too much, get the ball in the hands of guys who can make plays.
Now, your defense has held its last 3 opponents to 14 points or less, but what challenges does a dual-threat quarterback like Colin Klein present tonight?
Well, he's a really good player. We all know that. We have to read our keys. We have to run to the football and gang tackle.
Coach, we'll let you get to it. Thank you. Brent?
Thank you, Heather. And on the other side, the 73-year-old future Hall of Famer, Bill Snyder, who has done an incredible job. Now, he will have the ball first. Oklahoma State's going to defer. So settle back, folks, and I want you to listen to this wonderful crowd here in Manhattan, Kansas, the Little Apple, as we get started. Quinn Sharp kicks it away, and Tyler Lockett deep into the end zone will take a knee, and it'll come out on the 25-yard line. So here comes Colin Klein, the senior from Loveland High School, Colorado. He has a younger brother on this team who's a wide receiver too, Herbie.
And Brent, I want everybody to look at 6'5", 226 pounds, because keep that in mind as you watch him run the football. We've talked about how he's developed as a passer. He's become more balanced in this attack. But at the end of the day, when they need the tough yards, number 7 rolls up his sleeves, and he earns them by running through a defense.
Running back is John Hubert. He's the junior from Waco, Texas. He's right behind him in the pistol attack. Off the read, play action, throw on first down, complete for a first down for 14 yards to Harper.
Oklahoma State, Bill Young, a veteran defensive coordinator, he knows that he's crowding that line of scrimmage. I just talked about when you defend Colin Klein, you think about, we got to stop the running game first. He had 8 men up in the box. Kansas State sees that. Good call there on a play action pass against that defense that's up aggressive at the line of scrimmage.
So the ball is at the 39-yard line of Kansas State. Now back in that regular shotgun with a couple of running backs alongside him, and they're going to keep the ball in the air, and this one is incomplete, waved up. Roderick Brown, one of their outstanding defensive backs for Oklahoma State, had coverage on that play, and it will be second down and 10.
Like Ryan Robinson, 96, may have timed that up perfectly. Yeah, he got a hand on the ball. Or Harper may have had a shot to be able to make that catch. You're going to see Colin Klein, the area he's improved the most, getting the ball out of his hands much faster, Brent. A much quicker release this year.
And a little bit different in the air that he puts under it, too. Everything what you and I saw in Stillwater. Second down and 10, and he's all alone back there. He is thrown here early in this game, and he's going to keep it in the air. No. Quarterback draw behind one of his big linemen. Close, but not a first down, but very manageable. And Levy makes the tackle for the Cowboys.
See, the challenge is on the 2 guys on the outside linebackers. They have to respect the receivers, the slot receivers. So the defenders, you kind of call them hang players. They're hybrid guys that have to be able to defend the pass, but also physical enough to stop the run. They're kind of in between. That time they were hanging too much towards the pass, and Colin Klein noticed he had the numbers to his advantage, and he just took off and ran.
Two tight ends, power formation for the Wildcats. Trujillo joins Tannehill, and there's a penalty flag, false start, and that is something you very seldom see, Herbie, with this Kansas State.
False start. That's by number 55 of the offense. It's a 5-yard penalty, and it's still third down.
That's Cody Whitehair, the left guard.
You can see the left guard moves. It's quarterback's just looking over to confirm. He'll do that a lot tonight. It's not something that should catch the left guard Whitehair by surprise. That's a big part of Colin Klein in this offensive system.
So now it makes it 3rd and 6. Changes the situation. Another wide receiver on the field. They have 4 wide. Hubert stays in the backfield alongside Colin Klein, who checks over the sideline to see what they might want to check off to. 3rd down and 6, comes back near sideline. 1st down, Thompson.
Timing and rhythm from Colin Klein. It's a different look, and he sees the coverage that he wants. He gets man coverage off to his right. Thompson, who he's in great sync with all year. And really, Curry Sexton cleared that out to open it up in the flat there. But right now, we're seeing what we've seen all year from Colin Klein, a quarterback that is throwing the football with a great deal of confidence and trust in his receivers.
So they've crossed midfield into Cowboy territory. That Cowboy defense of Bill Young, you mentioned, Calvin Barnett, James Castleman, Collins, very good as defensive tackles. There's been a lot more pressure from the front. That was Levy, by the way, number 45, making the stop. But Herbie, check out the Wildcat impact players, brought to you by Avis.
Well, John Hubert, you talked about him earlier. He combines with Colin Klein. They represent 75% of the running game, so he'll be getting quite a few carries. Tyler Lockett, a big go-to man on the outside, also involved in special teams. And Bishak Williams, an outstanding defensive end, 42, will be getting all over the true freshman West line.
2nd down and 10. Bringing that play clock down. 2 seconds left, get it off. Pocket is clean, no receiver was open, and now under pressure drops it off to Hubert, the safety valve, and he dropped it. It was on the ground. Incomplete is the ruling.
He tried to improvise, and I think what he saw and the reason he made the check is he sees this soft coverage. That's when he made the check to be able to try to get the ball over to the slot. The problem is after the ball is snapped, the coverage, it's there, but it's there quickly, and I don't think he was ready to make that throw. He looked off to his left, came off of it maybe a little bit too early, and then he had to try to improvise.
3rd down and 10 as a result. Be looking downfield now. Checks over on that sideline again. There are 5 receivers spread entirely across the field, and a timeout has been called by Kansas State.
Before the clock ran out, Kansas State called their first time out of the half.
They were in danger of running the clock out earlier on a couple of plays, and this time they burn a timeout. We're scoreless as we continue Dr. Pepper's road to the BCS Championship on the night of January 7th in Miami. As we take a look at tonight's UPS efficiency update on Colin Klein, he's been one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the country. He is 2nd behind only A.J. McCarron of Alabama. 3rd down and 10 in an obvious passing situation. 5 receivers are out wide. Deflected and caught, but short of the 1st down on this 3rd down. That's Tremaine Thompson's 2nd reception of the night. So the throws have been a little flat, Herbie.
They have been, and Oklahoma State's timing their jumps up front very, very well. You also had that time Sean Lewis on 3rd down just spying Colin Klein in case he took off to scramble. But good defense and good execution by Bill Young and the Cowboys defense on that first series.
So the Cowboys are about to return a punt or a fair catch down by the 10-yard line. That's Charlie Moore, number 17 back there, and this is Ryan Dorr, the punter. Moore's going to let this go toward the end zone. Big high hop. Ball bounces, and let's see if they got it back around the 2-yard line. Remember, it's not the person, and now they're going to rule touchback. Now the signal on the line judge is touchback, that the ball did get in. It's ball, not man.
Yeah, the ball is almost 5 yards over the plane of the end zone there. So
Oklahoma State ball when you come back. Well, Kansas State is the only school in the United States that offers degrees in baking, feed, or milling science and management. And that's the new building where they will do experimental work here in the weeks ahead. And on first down by Lunt, there is the fullback, Kai Staley, Herbie, releasing for the backfield on that completion.
And you got a true freshman, excuse me, Wes Lunt on the road. Remember, he turned the ball over in Tucson. The tempo is part of their offense. Great call by Todd Monken. A simple little throw, little defense being overly aggressive. Throw it out in the flat, nice and safe.
Now they run right straight ahead with Joseph Randall, who is from Wichita, Kansas. Now you're taking a look at Wes Lunt, and as he looks across that line of scrimmage, Herbie, he'll see the big number 4, Arthur Brown, that big linebacker over there.
It's interesting. He's from Illinois. He looked at Illinois, Louisville, Michigan State, Wisconsin, and ends up in Stillwater.
Draw play with Randall, and Randall keeps on going after the first hit. But the point I was going to make, Herbie, about Randall being from Wichita,
yep.
Well, that happens to be where Arthur Brown is from, and the two were on the same relay team in high school. Now here they are facing each other tonight. Number 4 is the key linebacker, and Randall, number 1, is the key running back. Third down and 1. Here comes Randall, and bang. Brown was not in on that stop, but half of the defensive team was.
Yeah, they sure were. And you make an interesting point on Brown. We'll watch Brown and Randall all night tonight going against each other. Kansas State is pretty physical up front. They rely on their linebackers and safeties to make most of plays, but you want to keep an eye on somebody tonight. We talk a lot about Wes Lunt. It's Joseph Randall, who you just talked about. He is the key tonight to take the pressure off of the true freshman quarterback.
Staley did a pretty good job, didn't he, Herbie, that time on Brown? He took him on. So they've got the big blocker in there, and he'll lead the way. Follow 9. Randall right behind him. And he comes across the 45-yard line. Sua makes the stop. And Herbie, about the Avis impact players for Oklahoma State.
Yeah, I think Joseph Randall, we talked about him. They realize the Cowboys lead the Big 12 in rushing. Josh Stewart is the guy they're going to try to find in space. And you have Sean Lewis and Broderick Brown on the defensive side of the ball. But keep an eye when they throw the ball. They want to try and find matchups for number 5.
Now Jeremy Smith in the game got the play action throw wide open. And running for a touchdown is the freshman Austin Hayes. He's a freshman from San Antonio, Texas, went to Reagan High School, and that is a 54-yard strike against the unbeaten Wildcats.
Well, Ty Zimmerman, a veteran, a junior, a 3-year starter that time. Take a peek at this, but he had his eyes glued in that backfield, and with Oklahoma State, because they're balanced, you start to think about running the football with Joseph Randall, and if you're not careful, they go right behind you with a passing game.
Quinn Sharp adds the... So we're back, and Oklahoma State strikes with the big play against Kansas State. And this has been a team that's been pretty efficient so far in handling big plays, but not here tonight. And now Lockett and Thompson will be back as the freshman quarterback strikes early to a freshman wide receiver. And what a leg this young man has. Sharp is one of the best kickers in the country, Herbie.
Well, good job. Great execution here by Todd Monken. He's looking out to the flat, shows just enough to catch the defense sleeping. And Austin Hayes just behind Ty Zimmerman, and again his eyes are locked in on that quarterback, but a little bit of a fake to the bubble screen catches the defensive back's attention, but Ty Zimmerman eyes peeking into the backfield, and Hayes shows as a true freshman that he's got what it takes to be able to run away from that defense. True freshman to true freshman, that's a pretty good thing for the Cowboys.
Now Colin Klein and the Wildcats for the left hash. Timeout is called.
Oh, man.
That's the second timeout that they've called here tonight.
As good as they've been this year, most notably against West Virginia and TCU, or West Virginia and Texas Tech, they were really sloppy in Ames against Iowa State. And they started slow, and then they came on in the second half. And this kind of has that feel for Kansas State, just kind of getting comfortable and getting settled in. And eventually Colin Klein and this offense will get in sync.
Yeah, well, they call a timeout. They're over there on the sidelines. And Herbie, you talked about Colin Klein. And if our stats man would just reach behind him and grab that football, I want you to show everybody what he has changed here, okay?
We'll do that.
I'm sure that George will recover the fumble here right after this play. So you stay right here with me now, my friend.
All right.
First out and 10. Checking over with the sideline. Now he comes back to make that throw out to the side, which is complete short of the first down to Lockett. So Herbie now.
The big thing that he had a problem with is his shoulders were like this on a lot of his deliveries. So Terry Shea, one of the quarterback gurus out there, worked on getting his shoulders level. The other thing he did when he would throw, his elbow would be up when he would throw. Now he's worked real hard on getting the ball out quicker by getting his elbow down tighter. So it's all about a quicker, more level, and faster release to get the ball out of his hands. And he's making quicker decisions because of his film study.
Good recovery by George and a good performance by Herbie on throwing. Second down and 4 now. Out of the pocket, dangerous on the move, as you all know. There's a penalty flag thrown at the 39-yard line. A penalty flag has been thrown on this play as Klein was scrambling.
Like it may have been a hold there by Ryan Simmons from Oklahoma State. He just threw down the tight end. I don't know if that's what they caught, but
Holding by number 52 of the defense. The 10-yard penalty, and it's enough for a first down.
That is Simmons. It's, as you said, that's Ryan Simmons, number 52, who was guilty on that. That, of course, is an automatic first down for Kansas State here, trailing by 7.
And talking to Klein, he said he got in touch with Terry Shea, who's a former head coach in college and has been working with a lot of quarterbacks to get him ready for the draft. And he worked with Josh Freeman, who's from Kansas State and, of course, now down in Tampa Bay. And he spent a lot of time with Terry Shea to be able to get him to make quicker decisions and, again, get the football out and really work a lot on his accuracy. And I think that's another big thing that he's doing a much better job of.
Yeah, Shea's a veteran football coach, too. Here's Klein jammed up, trying to follow to the right. You know, Herbie, I've been impressed here early. Now, I know it's real early, but Bill Young's defensive front. You know, last year, we watched them. They were gashed a little bit in the middle, but here tonight, they're holding up pretty good here against this offensive line. Again, it's real early.
Very early, but I think so far what Bill Young is doing a good job of with a veteran defense is mixing up the looks. You can't give Colin Klein in this offense the same look every snap. So they're disguising some looks, just trying to do the best they can at confusing Kansas State's offensive line and Colin Klein.
Second and 8, and Colin going to put it up. Got a man open way downfield. Complete to Lockett. Lockett is across the 10-yard line. Lockett with that great speed breaks open deep.
And they formed a really nice pocket here for Colin Klein. He gives a little bit of a pump fake, one-on-one coverage, a pump fake, the corner bit on it, and he went right by Justin Gilbert. Gilbert is a veteran corner, expected to have a big year. You see how he bit on the little hesitation that time by Lockett, and there's the accuracy we just talked about from Colin Klein.
50-yard gain on that pass play, so that puts it down close to the 5-yard line across the 10 in the red zone for the first time here tonight. And now checking over. Still got plenty of time to get this play off. Klein wants to go fade left side, out of bounds. Incomplete. Chris Harper was the intended target on that. And that was Gilbert defending. And Herbie, that time Gilbert did a pretty good job.
And this is what Bill Young has to face when facing a quarterback that spreads you out and can run and can throw. He decided there Colin Klein's a threat to run the football. And after last year, I don't blame him because he ran for a lot of yards. He put more into that box area than he had in coverage. He had one-on-one coverage, so he's relying on those corners to hold up.
Got to watch the quarterback draw down here. Colin is so dangerous as a runner. He's going to roll to the right. This is a run all the way. 5, dives, end zone, touchdown, Kansas State. double check now to make sure the knee did not come down.
He also had Braden Wilson, his fullback, as a shovel pass option there. He tries to stretch it. I think he's a little short. Think he got that across?
Yeah, you might be right, Herbie.
Take a look at the elbow there.
The elbow comes down a little bit short.
See what they think, but that was he's always a threat down in that area to run.
See if they can turn it over on that view.
.6'5", 226 pounds. Like I've told you, the defensive coordinator, the tough thing to think about is, do you load up to stop the run because you know it's coming and leave yourself vulnerable to the pass? Or do you try to stop him from throwing? Well, it's right there. I mean,
it is
right
close.
At the line. I don't know if that...
It is so close.
When it's that close, you usually see him go with the call on the field.
Well, we're giving them a whole lot of good-looking views on this, and I agree with your first instinct. I thought it was just a touch short.
It's a great example of what's different about Kansas State in 2012. A little sluggish, not quite in sync. We were talking about Oklahoma State and their defensive line and how good they looked. And then a double move, a little pump to the outside. Finds his receiver Lockett downfield, and just like that, they're down deep into Oklahoma State territory, and they can put touchdown up on the board if they get this call.
After further review, the runner was down at the 1-foot line. It's third down.
So that is our referee, Cooper Castleberry, and Shamil Gary, the strong safety, saved a touchdown that time. That's the good news for Oklahoma State. The bad news is, of course, it's still third down here for the Wildcats. So they're going to get another crack at a touchdown before Coach Snyder would have to make a decision if they fail here. They trail it by 7. They've got a pretty good fullback in Wilson. He's a pretty tough hombre if they want him to lead block on this. He's offset to the right a little bit. And there is the pitch. And Wilson, the lead blocker. There is the touchdown. And that was John Hubert.
I'll tell you, this is pretty to watch. Colin Klein on the option. Sean Lewis takes him out. An outstanding block down there by the fullback Wilson, and he gets to the corner for the touchdown. You combine Klein and John Hubert inside that 5-yard line, and they both have that option to get the football. You like your chances if you're Kansas State. That's tough to stop.
So tied at 7 as Hubert runs it in for the 11th time this year. The USC-Oregon game, 34-24. The Ducks with the lead. Here, Kansas State, unbeaten in number 2, leads Oklahoma State. I should say, let me check that. They're tied at 7. Kansas State just scored, and Oklahoma State will have the ball as Gilbert took a knee in the end zone. And Kirk Herbstreit, give those folks who are drifting over here for a little bit of a peek what we've seen here so far tonight.
Well, Wes Lund, a true freshman quarterback, from last time he had the football, he was able to find Austin Hayes. A little bit of a misdirection play where they faked a bubble screen and got Hayes behind coverage, and took advantage of a busted coverage by Kansas State. We'll see what he can do this second time, this next series here.
Now watching a true freshman quarterback from Rochester High School in Illinois, Wes Lunt, who has thrown 1 touchdown pass here today, and the junior Joseph Randall is number 1, and he is a fine running back. Play action with Lunt, plenty of time, fires complete for 9 yards to Charlie Moore. Working with his outside receivers, it was Austin Hayes who scored the touchdown for him, and now he comes back to another outside receiver, Herbie.
Cannot say enough about this offense, and not just in this game, just the way they're executing considering what they lost from a year ago.
Here's Randall running to the short side, picks his way for the first down, out to the 40-yard line, and Arthur Brown.
So right side of the line here, Daniel Koenig, Lane Taylor. Watched him get a good push that time. And then the fullback again, Kyle Staley leading the way. This is a balanced attack from this Oklahoma State offense. It's not just about lining it up, hurrying up, throwing the football. They run the ball for 239 yards a game.
This is Randall trying to get to the outside. Out to the 42-yard line before he's brought down by Ty Zimmerman. Fine safety.
And I think that running game is what makes this offense so tough. So I want you to picture the Mike Leach family, the Hal Mummy, Mike Leach, Dana Holgorsen offense. That's what Oklahoma State is. But they run the football, and they're very physical to go along with that.
Facing 2nd and 8, run off the play action, stands tall, comes middle, and it's incomplete. Let's check in now with Robert Flores for a studio update. Robert. Thanks, Robert. And here it is noisy on 3rd and 8 for the freshman. Incomplete. Intended for Josh Stewart, the #1 target. And Jarrell Childs did a fine job defensively for the Wildcats.
This time Stewart's trying to find a hole. You can see he works to the inside, but Childs' instincts there, he was anticipating Stewart moving back into the middle of the defense, and those instincts paid off for him. Nice job in coverage.
So Quinn Sharp, who does everything, punts it away. Thompson runs up, and it's at the 20-yard line. Tyler Lockett, who was also back there with him deep, made that catch. So it was Lockett who caught it. They had both men back deep on that punt. And now Colin Klein will come back out here, tied at 7 with Oklahoma State.
He was able to get things going in their last drive. It was a little sluggish here early for Kansas State, but the big play that got them going in the last drive was a nice thrown ball by Klein to Tyler Lockett on that pump and go.
Pease is checked in as the running back. Angelo Pease, the senior from Georgia, recruited out of a junior college, Hutcherson JC. Spin move by Pease, cuts to the outside, and it's a beauty. Best run from scrimmage tonight, a 13-yarder, and that was a dandy, folks.
They brought a blitz from the field, and because he was able to avoid it right there from Gary, the safety, once he got around that and also got around Levy, then there was a lot of room to the outside. So Bill Young took a chance there and almost paid off for a loss. But because of Pease's ability to break that tackle, he picks up a first down.
Ride him and keep it. On the read option, Klein kept it, and Nicholas was all over him that time, making the stop. Nicholas is a senior. He, too, is from Georgia.
You know, we've talked so much about Klein's improvement as a passer. You forget that last year he had 317 carries and over 1,100 yards rushing, and that's really how he made a name for himself. And one of the most patient quarterbacks you'll see run the football, especially at 6'5", 226 pounds.
He threw for 2 touchdowns and ran for 2 more last week in the Kansas State victory. Far side complete, another first down, and that's Curry Sexton's first catch of the night.
It's amazing how many touchdowns he has accounted for. You go back and add all those up. I mean, that is a heck of a career for most guys. And what's interesting is talking to him this week, he kind of called himself a journeyman. In 2008, he redshirted in 09. He's kind of a receiver, some quarterback, some tight end, and then finally started to find his niche as a quarterback in 2010.
Handing off again, and Pease is stopped for a yard loss. Let's check in down below with Heather Cox. Heather?
Well, guys, it's interesting, Herbie, just hearing you talk about how patient Colin Klein is as a runner. I just overheard the Oklahoma defensive coaches before they took the field telling his players not to over-pursue Colin Klein when bringing pressure off the edge and to stay in front of him on the inside, all because he is so patient out there and really waits for those holes to open up.
Yeah, if you overrun Colin Klein, he has not just the strength, but the speed to embarrass you with his cutback.
This is a 2 tight end formation on 2nd down and 11, just in case Young brings pressure from the edge. They want Klein to have some time Throws and a nice catch for a first down at the 40-yard line by Chris Harper, senior from Wichita's Northwest High School.
Well, Bill Young is simply just saying, we're going to leave our corners out there. We got to be able to match up on the outside. And what you love to see from Harper, the former quarterback, is using his hands to secure the football. There's no doubt he made that catch. They might want to look at it again, but there's no doubt that he secured the football. The relationship between Klein and Chris Harper, Tyler Lockett, Tremaine Thompson, that's another big part of the advancement of this offense.
Switching up the defensive play, Klein on a keeper. Powers past the linebacker and picks up about 8 yards on that as he read the movement with the defense and took off Herbie to a pretty good hole.
And Caleb Lady, the middle linebacker, 95, is dropping back in coverage. I don't know what he saw, but when he dropped back, it gave Colin Klein that much more room and actually opened it up for the fullback, Braden Wilson, to get an easy block on Levy and picked up 7 or 8 yards. You better attack downhill. You better not drop back if you want to stop Klein.
Second down and 2. Pease stays in the game, and that is the fullback, Wilson, who comes back to lead the way, and Klein cuts away from him for the first down. Ran into a bunch of bodies, but he had picked up the first down.
Nothing like running into a 9-man box. And he never complains. It's the greatest thing about him. He'll just keep going and keep going. And, you know, you kind of run out of things to say about this guy because of his humble approach. His teammates love him, and one of the most unselfish players that gets so many accolades that you're ever going to find. One-on-one coverage again, Brent. See the corners man to man.
Colin married to a gal who was a basketball player. As he goes back deep, incomplete. He overthrew the receiver that time. There's a penalty flag that comes late. The back judge finally threw it. Gilbert was the defensive back, number 4. And he drew the flag trying to defend Tyler Lockett.
Pass interference by number 4 of the defense. It's a 15-yard penalty, and it's a first down.
Brent, Shamil Gary and Daytwan Lowe, the two safeties, are literally at 5 yards, 7 yards off the line of scrimmage. 9 men in the box, so you're one-on-one on the outside. This is the matchup that's going to dictate how well Oklahoma State plays. They're willing to leave Gilbert and Brown out there on an island, and if they don't play any better in these matchups, it could be a long night for Oklahoma State's pass defense.
Into the red zone for the second time here tonight for Colin Klein. Game is tied. 2 tight ends are down. Pump fake. Now comes underneath, but he threw it too high for Lockett. And there was a whole lot of cushion right there that time. You could see daylight when he threw it to Lockett, who would have been very, very close to the 4-yard line where the first down marker is that time.
As hard as he has worked on his footwork, that time I think he may have predetermined where he wanted to go with the ball. He pump faked to the flat, to the screen, trying to draw the defense towards it. They actually sank back on the deeper route. Then he tried to, before he could settle his feet, throw it back out to the flat.
Klein keeping it all the way, picks his way. Then he's down close to the 10-yard line, and Alex Elkins, the honorable mention linebacker from North Carolina, making the stop. Number 37 heads off to the sideline as we tick off the final seconds of the opening quarter. Now this presentation of Saturday Night Football presented by Windows 8 will return after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Third down now for Kansas State. 3rd and 6. Score tied at 7. Colin Klein checks over the sideline, and they readjust with Angelo Pease, the running back, who stayed on the field. Klein keeping it all the way, picking his way behind the left side. White hair, Cornelius Lucas, center B.J. Finney. And it brings up 4th down now, and Coach Snyder is going to have to decide what he wants to do here. Wants to check the distance. They need about 2 yards.
And typically you see Bill Snyder want to kick, but with a quarterback like Colin Klein, who can do so many things for you with the run and the throw, you want to give him the chance here.
The crowd always enjoys that.
Oklahoma State may have to get a timeout here. They're trying to substitute players in and out. You got 12 men on the field right now.
And the 12th man dashes off. And time is called. Now there's a play clock problem, and looks like K-State called a timeout down here. Now they're going to have to. Now they're going to have to confer. And let's see if the play clock ever reset.
There was no timeout called.
What?
Now there was. Oh, it involved the play clock, which had not reset. So now, has Coach changed his mind?
He sure has.
Yes, he has. And Anthony Cantelli will come out. The punter, Ryan Dorr, is the holder. So the first instance, I think Coach Snyder agreed with somebody upstairs, but given more time to think about it, the old coach said, let's just take the lead.
Take the point.
A 23-yard field goal did exactly that.
You can never overlook Bill Snyder.
Randall breaks free in zone. Oklahoma State regains the lead. Klein rolls to the right. Fires high and incomplete, and Oklahoma State will survive a scare. And that's what that was last year, Herbie. A survival run. 97 total points scored in that game down in Stillwater. That was one of the games of the year.
It was a survival for Oklahoma State and a turning point, I believe, in Kansas State in their program, and believing that they could play with the big boys.
Well, Gilbert will be forced to take a knee, and it'll come out on the 25-yard line. And this season, here's where they rank Oklahoma State. They're still first in total yards, and still very, very impressive, even though their big fellas and Blackman and Wheaton are playing in the National Football League.
And they lost Tracy Moore early this year, one of their senior receivers. Isaiah Anderson, a senior receiver. I mean, they're getting it done with a true freshman quarterback, a lot of young wide receivers. Luckily, they have veteran leadership up front, and in the running back spot at Joseph Randall.
Yeah, Isaiah is back and active, and here comes the end around with Josh Stewart. They finally hand it to him, and he muscles his way for about 8 yards on first down. Josh Stewart is a sophomore. He's from Denton, Texas. He's only 5'10", 178, but he has become the go-to guy so far for the quarterbacks at Oklahoma State. 2nd and 2. Randall slashes for the first down.
I like that word, slashes, because that's how he runs. I mean, he's an upright, straight line kind of guy with speed, and he's really become more physical in the time that he has spent in Stillwater. Spent a lot of time in a weight room. He's got soft hands. They can throw the ball to him. Probably one of the most underrated backs in college football.
He'll have a decision to make. He's a junior at the end of this season. I know the Cowboys would dearly love to have him back. I got a young team here. It's going to mature. Could grow up next year, and Joseph Randall could be a big part of it. Running with the football. Not that time. Ball comes loose. Scooped up by Kansas State. Zimmerman, who's Johnny on the spot when it comes to a loose football, scooped that up. And let's see if the runner was down. They're headed off the field, so I believe this ball came free.
It did.
And was a fumble.
Brent, it came out, and you'll see very closely that this football came out before his knee touched. Randall's fighting to try to get away from the defense, and this is what Kansas State does to you. Good job by Travis Britz in there fighting to try to get to that football. A lot of purple jerseys all over the place. And in Big 12 games, that ball is out. They are plus 14 in the turnover margin.
First down and 10. Best field position of the night for the Wildcats. Just across the Cowboys' 30-yard line, and Hubert back as the running back. Klein keeps it straight up the middle. Got 7 yards on first down before Lowe makes the stop.
It's coming right off of the block of the fullback. Wilson also follows Nick Pitts to left guard. He kind of does that one Mississippi, two Mississippi, go kind of thing. He's just waiting to let the alignment and the fullback set up their block, and then he just reads the blocks and goes in the direction where he finds that crease. So just a zone play.
Lockett is slot right. Harper outside him. Klein keeping it. And he'll be short of the first down as Bassett makes the stop. Cooper Bassett's a senior. He's out of Tuttle, Oklahoma. Now this is a interesting 3rd and 2 here, and whenever you've got Klein, the defense has to be so aware of him because Herbie of that great running ability.
Yeah, and John Hubert is not in the ball game right now and has really not been a factor at this point in the attack for Kansas State.
Yeah, they got that big-time lead fullback there, and Wilson right next to him. There he goes first, gets a block, first down. I'm telling you, I have seen some good fullbacks, and there's a penalty flag. Penalty flag.
Came in late. I don't know, maybe a face mask. It came right where they're tackling Klein.
A personal foul, grabbing the face mask by number 99 of the defense.
That's what it was.
The penalty's half the distance to the goal, and it's first down.
When you try to stop Klein, I think guys get so frustrated with him towards the end of the play. Barnett just grabbing at anything he can get, grabs a hold of that face mask, throwing a little horse collar in there as well. Klein's trying to say, hey, man, give me a break.
And his wife very anxious up in the stands, too. Shaylin watching him. Of course, she was a basketball player here. John Hubert's back in as the running back. Quick throw to Lockett on the outside, and Lockett is going to get to the 5-yard line. And so we've mentioned Shaylin, and there she is in the white Wildcat hooded sweatshirt right there. And she did play on the Wildcat women's basketball team, and she has a sister who plays for the Tennessee women's basketball team. And oh, by the way, her father was a heck of an athlete by the name of Gary Spanny, who was one of the great linebackers here at Kansas State, and then went to the Kansas City Chiefs for about 10 years. Gary is in attendance tonight, too, watching this game. Second down and goal. Read option. Hubert. End zone touchdown. Kansas State leads for the first time today. Oh, let me check it. You know, they're scoring so fast, I forgot. They're scoring as fast as Oregon.
I wouldn't go that far, but they're scoring fast. They've settled in here.
They got that great field position, Herbie, on the fumble by Randall.
That's right. Took advantage of it.
Yeah.
As a zone read play, Cooper Bassett takes Colin Klein and it opens it up for John Hubert. He got back into the game and took advantage of it into the end zone. Touchdown, Cats. And look who approves of Kansas State being up by 10.
He led the first military escort along the Santa Fe Trail. And I know you're interested in this because you like the things out west.
Yeah.
In the years after the Civil War, that's where General George Custer was stationed at Fort Riley before he headed to Montana. Justin Gilbert picks it up on the goal line now. Got a crease. 20-25. Tightrope walking, coming free. Here he comes. Unbelievable. Justin Gilbert.
Gilbert trying to make up for some of the...
Hold on now. He might be out of bounds over there, about 41 yards, right?
Yep, he sure was. He allowed the kicker, I think, to push him out of bounds. Right.
Not out of bounds, but he is there.
There, yeah. Kansas
He was
State catches
really
a break. You know, Gilbert's had a tough night in coverage, one-on-one coverage. Makes up for it there with a big return. Almost took it all the way to the house.
Well, it's up to the freshman now to fire things up here for the Cowboys. And he's got him rolling again. A beautiful strike downfield to Charlie Moore.
He gets one-on-one coverage. He goes right over top of the safety. Safety's biting up there, expecting the run, and we've seen these receivers. They can get vertical. They hit these creases vertically when they catch you napping and looking into the eyes in the backfield, expecting the run.
Draw play with Randall. Running to daylight and brought down at the 22-yard line by Adam Davis.
Another big block that time by Kyle Staley leading the way. These safeties from Kansas State, Ty Zimmerman, number 12, Jared Milo, number 23. They're up near the top of this entire team in tackles, so they're very aggressive, and they've got a big-time challenge tonight against this offense.
On second down, fires it off to the side for a first down across the 20-yard line. Josh Stewart.
Yeah, showing some maturity there. Not a play where he has to throw it 40 yards downfield, Brent, but he just checks it down. Gets it to a guy who could pick up a first down. Nice job by Westland. Playing very, very well here early in this game for this Cowboys offense.
17-yard line. Jeremy Smith checked in to the 8-yard line. Is the backup running back from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Went to Union High School. They played great high school football there.
You can see the safety here, Milo, Brent. This is what he has to face, is anticipation of the running game. Anticipation of that, and then the passing game can get behind him.
A little bit up-tempo here, Mr.
It sure is, boys. We got to be ready.
Okay.
We got to be ready. But Milo and Zimmerman, again, boy, they are really, really in a little bit of a quandary facing West Lund in this offense, because if they don't come up and run support, nobody's there. And when they do come up and run support, the ball's going by them through the air with the pass game.
Third down and 1. Crowd making it tough for the freshman. Play clock down to 5. Gets the handoff. Jeremy needs a crease. Not going to get it. Thrown back. Beautiful defensive stand right there. And now the decision will be up to Coach Gundy on the other side. 4th down.
They slanted the defensive line.
The kicker.
Brought the pressure. Who would have thought we would have seen potentially a couple kicks here? They have one of the best kickers in the entire country here in Sharp.
Not only, folks, is he one of the best kickers, he may be the best punter. Quinn Sharp, number 13, with a 25-yard field goal attempt to pull him to within 7. So they get the field goal back. Now they're back to within 7. We'll take a break. Alabama leads LSU 7-3 in another big one. To join ABC to help raise donations for this cause. To donate now, text ABC to 90999 to give $10, or go to redcross.org/ABC. And for some of you folks back in the Staten Island area, if you have any power, our hearts bleed for you here tonight, and we hope that things get a lot better here in the next few days. Here it is, Tyler Lockett of Kansas State from the end zone. He's got an alley. Here comes Lockett. Look out. He can move. Touchdown. 100 yards. Tyler Lockett of the famous Lockett family.
What a wedge created by Kansas State, and he doesn't need a lot of room. There's nobody on that side. Look at the kicker, Sharp. He actually runs out of the way of Lockett to open it up for him. Let me get out of your way, and let you take that all the way to the end zone. I'd like to talk about all the great blocks there, but there was nobody on that side of the field.
So Lockett's extra point is added. That's the second kickoff return touchdown this year for Lockett. The other 96 yards.
This Lockett is such a weapon for Kansas State. And look, there's just no one to block on this side. But what I want you to watch, we love Sharp. He's maybe the best punter, one of the best combination kickers that there is. But I don't know where he's going there. He's just trying to clear out of the way. But Lockett is a dangerous man in the open field. I don't blame Sharp for getting out of the way.
A short kickoff fielded at the 19-yard line by the Cowboys. And now they break free. 40, 30, 20, 10, 5, 81 yards for the touchdown. Desmond Rowland from Dallas, Texas. I'm trying to think now. I've seen a lot of things. Well, I must have seen back-to-back kickoff.
What is it with you and I, with Kansas State and Oklahoma State against LSU and Alabama? I mean, we just get action. If you like points, you like scores, this is the game that you want to watch. Rowland's a third-string tailback, and he didn't do it like Lockett. Lockett did it with speed and finesse. My man Rowland just ran right through Kansas State's kickoff coverage.
So here's Quinn Sharp. He tacks on the extra point. And let's take a breath and go to Robert Flores in the studio for an update. Take it away. Well, we're taking a look at the Pacific Life game summary right here. Total yards, Kansas State with 183 and Oklahoma State with 155. Oklahoma State committed the only turnover of this game, and believe it or not, Mr. Herbstreit, back-to-back kickoff returns for touchdowns, and now it is Mr. Lockett's turn. And we mentioned the fact that his father, Kevin, and his uncle, Aaron, both also played here at Kansas State. In fact, his father is K-State's all-time leading receiver. That's right, 3,032 yards, 217 passes. He played for Coach Snyder in the mid-1990s. So let's see if he's going to get another crack at it. Coming out. This would be plus 100 if he can make it. Looking for a seam. Finally, a kickoff return man goes down on the 28-yard line.
You know why Quentin Sharp got out of the way on his return? Because watch Cantelli 10. He gets leveled when Rowland took it back to the house. So maybe Sharp's got the right idea when you're a kicker. Just get out of the way before somebody knocks you out.
You're going to get hurt out here. First down and 10. Pease back in as the running back for the Wildcats. Ryan looking to throw, now takes off to the other side and then finally hits Chris Harper. And so tonight's Aflac, folks, Mr. Herbstreit is ineligible. He's already given us the answer. Name the Kansas State player who finished the highest in the Heisman Trophy voting. Michael Bishop, L. Roberson, or Darren Sproles. Which one of those three? That's true.
You said, hey, we come back.
That's true. You gave me the answer. You're ineligible.
And I said Michael Bishop before we even
Now you gave away the answer.
Well, I'm sorry.
Now, Mr. Herbstreit, how can you do that?
I'm sorry.
Aflac, we apologize. The Duck is going to be mad at you. I'm telling you.
He will be.
Second down now. Here we go, Colin. Standing tall, coming deep. Lockett comes across and makes the reception. Lockett working the middle of the field. Now let's see if he made this catch.
They're definitely going to want to take a look at this. Ball is underthrown. Lockett gets his arms underneath it. Boy, they're going to definitely take another look at that. The ball looked like it went between his arms and hit the surface. Well-designed play. The patience that time from Klein as a passer and not a runner. There they go.
We're going to take a look at it here upstairs. This Big 12 crew.
So that play took some time to develop. Two receivers.
The ruling on the field is a completed catch. The previous play is under further review.
Two receivers on two routes that were pretty deep, and see the ball slip through Lockett's hands and
incomplete
right to the surface. Did a good job of selling it, though. He came up saying, I got it.
So here we are. And folks, if you missed this, Aflac, you got a real problem. The Kansas State player who finished the highest in the Heisman Trophy voting, and Mr. Herbstreit all over it, gave me the answer before he knew the question. Michael Bishop, second back in 1998. We ask it tonight because Colin Klein, of course, is the perceived front runner. Everybody says he is.
All three of those players are great players, but how sweet was Michael Bishop?
He was a dandy.
Man, he would run the Bill Snyder offense, an option attack where they could attack a defense.
Darren Sproles, I think, injured recently and not able to play Sunday football, but he's had a great career in the National Football League. Well, Coach Gundy across the way now, and this one will be coming back, we certainly believe, after taking a peek at that replay. So that will nullify the 31-yard gain. They'll get the spot where the ball is.
I believe that was second down, so this will be third down if they end up overturning this. Third down and 9. Pretty big call here. I think this is the most obvious shot, showing it through his arms.
That one seems pretty easy to me. Two of the defensive backs on the field immediately signaled that it was incomplete, and one of them actually had a better angle than the official. And Herbie, you're right, it was 2nd and 9 back at the 28. Come on, fellas, it can't take this long.
After further review, the pass was incomplete. It's third down at the 28-yard line.
It's a big call and the right call.
Please set the clock to 6:45. 6:45.
So here we go. It'll be third down and 9. Klein back in the gun with 4 wide receivers. Three down linemen for the Cowboys. Under pressure. Sacked at the 20-yard line by Tyler Johnson. Tyler Johnson, a junior from Haskell, Oklahoma.
Well, he went right by Cornelius Lucas. Bill Young's got to be proud of this. He rushed 3 and he dropped 8 at the bottom of the screen. He just used a speed rush to get around Lucas. And when you, again, can rush 3 guys and you can get pressure on Colin Klein, you got to be pretty happy. This team has not given up many sacks in the entire year. That was a big stop that time of the Cowboys.
So Dorr is back to punt. And stepping in is Charlie Moore to make the catch. And that was the first punt of the night for Kansas State. Well, we almost had a huge shakeup in the BCS. Notre Dame forced to go to triple overtime to pull it out on Pittsburgh. Tomorrow night on ESPN, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We'll see if that affects the Irish or anybody else in the rankings here tonight. Oregon in a shootout with USC. Alabama leading a low scoring, what else is new, battle with LSU. There is that shuttle pass on the jet sweep, and Stewart again coming around, and the clock will continue to move. He was down at about the 43-yard line.
Yet to really see Josh Stewart get loose. Todd Monken loves to find matchups to his advantage. They study the film all week, and it's not just line up and play. They try to move guys around to get to the matchup that's most favorable for Wes Lunt and his Cowboy offense.
Fake the draw play on 2nd and 7, deflected, incomplete. He was trying to hit the fullback coming out, and Randall Evans was blitzing number 15, and the sophomore from Miami deflected this.
So he showed pass, then he fakes the draw, and then he comes back to throw, and with Evans coming on the blitz, Lunt is very lucky he got the ball out of his hands that time before Evans got to him.
Tough crowd for the freshman. It's loud in here, folks, real loud. Got back before the snap. Lunt's in trouble, and now he's going down. Sacked by Childs. He's a senior from right down the road in Kansas City.
This is tough on a true freshman on the road. Tuggle on one side, Milo on the other. Childs also coming in there. When a quarterback feels that pressure and he feels this kind of environment and his primary receiver is not there, typically he's just going to be able to try to just check down or throw it away.
Sharp hangs one beautifully to the 10-yard line. It is fielded by Kansas State, and Thompson kicks it out now. Thompson's down at midfield.
This is the Bill Snyder way of winning games. Trying to win the field position battle. We've seen the kickoff return. Thompson this time gets the ball. And I tell you, this time there were some outstanding blocks, and Thompson also uses his instincts as a ball carrier out in the open field. And that's Kansas State. Now all of a sudden they've flipped the field and they're starting to drive close to midfield.
38-yard, another big play turned in here tonight. Klein working with half the field, and Hubert back as a running back. Klein on sort of a busted play, battling to get back to the line of scrimmage. Now that last one was 38 yards, but just to get you up to date, we've had the 54-yard touchdown pass to Hayes, the 50-yard pass play to Lockett, forced fumble lead to a TD, then the 100-yard kickoff return by Lockett, and Roland answered with an 81-yarder. Now we've had a 38-yard punt return, so we've had plenty of big plays here tonight so far. Klein now with a 2nd down and 10. Sends 3 wide to the right. Throws in underneath to his tight end, Travis Tannehill. And Lewis defends Tannehill. That was Tannehill's first catch of the night.
And Oklahoma State rotating a lot of bodies in and out of the lineup, trying to stay fresh and trying to be able to stay up with stopping the size of Colin Klein in the run game, and also the way they can throw the football. But they've gotten him again to a 3rd down. That's the key tonight for Oklahoma State. How often can they get Klein to 3rd and long?
And this time it is 3rd and 7. Klein checks. He has 4 wide receivers. And he'll have to dump it off to Hubert. That'll be short of the 1st down. So keeping him, Herbie, in 3rd and long prevented him from picking up a 1st down when he had to drop it off.
And Bill Young this time shows pressure, and then right at the snap they drop everybody. Again, I think that confused Colin Klein. They looked like he was going to be man-to-man. As the ball is snapped, they dropped 8 into coverage, 5 in the short routes, 3 that were deep, and they rushed 3. And Klein, all he could do was just check it down to Hubert. Good job again by Bill Young's defense.
Glidden and Moore are back deep. Dorr hangs it up high. And it is caught at the 12-yard line by Glidden. Let's head to Robert Flores for SportsCenter right now. Robert.
All right, Brent, here's what's happening on SportsCenter right now. Brought to you by HP, Oregon, and USC. Trying to break the scoreboard at the Coliseum. Kenyon Barner, 200-plus yards on the ground, 3 touchdowns. They lead by 10, but USC is about to score a touchdown. Notre Dame survives a scare from Pittsburgh. They win in triple overtime. Panthers had a field goal to win it at the end of double overtime, but they missed it.
And And Robert, when they missed it, a big groan went up in the parking lot here in Manhattan, Kansas. A lot of folks tailgating, had the flat screens out there, and they were all huddled around hoping that Pittsburgh could win it, but it was not to be. Picked off, intercepted. Coming back is Chapman, just like a year ago in Stillwater. A pick six for Alan Chapman. A 29-yard interception return against the youngster Wes Lunt. Cantelli tacks on the extra point.
Now there's the mistake that Wes Lunt was looking to avoid. Chapman just baited him, sitting back behind the safety that time, and it was kind of an inverted coverage, and I think by inverted, the safety kind of sneaks up, the corner sits back, and then he just stepped right in front of the wide receiver. Lunt, I think, was anticipating Chapman to be back deeper in coverage and was just confused. I don't even think he saw Chapman. He put the ball up out in the flat. His receiver wasn't even anticipating the ball. And that is the 6th non-offensive touchdown this year for this Kansas State football team.
And a year ago, when Alan Chapman picked off Whedon, he went 60 yards for the touchdown. Not quite as far here tonight. And for the season, that is Chapman's second interception. He picked Kansas off earlier this year, so Cantelli will have the ball on the tee.
What a crazy number you just saw with that graphic. Points off turnovers, 104 for Kansas State, 0 for their opponent. Can you say Bill Snyder? That is Bill Snyder football.
Kickoff is fielded at the 6 by Gilbert. Gilbert gonna go down at about the 8-yard line. Tomorrow, NFL Countdown presented by IBM, 10 a.m. on ESPN. You get all the latest news from around the league. Then at 11 on ESPN2, Robert Flores, Matthew Berry, and Tim Hasselbeck will give you the information you need to get your lineup set with fantasy football presented by Papa John.
How does Wes Lunt respond to the pick six? Still 2:29 to go in this first half. Cannot self-destruct here if you're Oklahoma State.
I'll tell you how this crowd's responding. And they decided to run a draw play with Randall. So Coach Gundy wants to be real cautious, and we're checking down below with Heather.
Well, you guys talk about Wes Lunt and how he'll respond. Don't forget, this is just his second game back. Before the game, Gundy told me he wouldn't have even played last week if J.W. Walsh hadn't been hurt. He's coming back from a dislocated knee and a twisted ankle, and as a freshman.
Exactly. Goes to Randall for a second time, and they get out of trouble with that first down before Adam Davis makes a stop for the Cats.
It was a good job on the line getting up to the second level. Arthur Brown, we talked about earlier tonight, but hasn't been much of a factor in defending the run. That time he was locked up by Jonathan Rush, who got up there and secured that block.
Incomplete. Intended for Charlie Moore.
Threw it right back towards Chapman and off to the right. So they pick up the first down, and then they say, hey, we believe in the kid. Let's give him the ball, and let's give him a chance to try to throw it.
Lonergan back in trouble. And a completion, and it was a beauty under duress as he drops it off now to Jackson. And Blake Jackson, who is a tight end from Gilbert, Arizona, kind of a go-to guy.
And the line that time, a mistake on the left side. They just let a man in free. And one thing about Wes Lunt at 6'4", he's not the most mobile guy, but Brent, you said it, under duress, he was able to still make the throw. And you saw some power that time from Blake Jackson.
3rd and 3. So he gets it back to a manageable number here, and a timeout has been called by Gundy. Well, we take a look at this week's BCS standings, brought to you by Discover Card. Alabama leading a tough defensive battle against LSU. Kansas State, you're watching here. Notre Dame surviving in triple overtime, and as Robert Flores told you, the scoreboard might break in the Coliseum in that game between Oregon and USC, 41-38. They put up 79 points, and they haven't even reached the fourth quarter yet.
Well, Notre Dame finding a way. After Everett Golson threw that interception, it looked like it just wasn't meant to be, but they never gave up. Came back, got it into overtime, and when you get Notre Dame and South Bend into overtime, I don't like your chances.
Staley, the fullback, is on the field. Play action. They're going to throw for the first down. A beautiful call by Gundy to Josh Stewart, an inside receiver who slashed in. And folks, that's a big call.
Gutsy by Stewart. Look at Arthur Brown right there. He started to come up. That ball was thrown so quickly. Brown did not have a chance to make a play. Good focus and concentration by Stewart.
A 13-yard gain. Lund keeps it airborne, and 12 more yards and a first down. This one to Hayes, who caught the long touchdown pass. And this very impressive for the freshman. After throwing that pick six, he has come back and he's driving the Cowboys. Going deep down the middle, incomplete, and Charlie Moore was open. Just a little bit less air, and they'd have had 6 because Charlie Moore was dead open.
Yeah, he had him, and it was a busted coverage by Oklahoma State. Alan Chapman kind of turning and looking to Ty Zimmerman and saying what happened there. There was some confusion, and Wes Lunt made him pay for that earlier to a touchdown. This time he wasn't able to connect.
From the gun. Incomplete, as his receiver, who was slanting that time, dropped it, and John Goodlett unable to hang on, one of the inside men. Now it's 3rd down and 10. Final minute here of the first half. Steps away from the pressure, near side floater picked off. Alan Chapman made the catch. He and Zimmerman were over there working the sideline. Zimmerman was right there also with Chapman. That's the 3rd turnover of the night. The 2 interceptions now to go with the fumble.
Great effort by Meshach Williams to get in there, and his pressure, I think, affected that football. I thought Zimmerman
had it, and Chapman took it away.
Said, I'm going for number 2 tonight.
Now Chapman goes down with it. Instant replay's got to take a look at this because you're too far on the out-of-bounds sideline. That's the issue on this play.
A catch for an interception. The play is under review.
There's no question that this is a much tougher call than we had on the fumble and a couple of earlier calls here, because what is interesting here is that Zimmerman has the ball and Chapman takes it away.
I'm looking at Zimmerman to see if he has his foot down, and then Chapman ends up taking it away.
If it's ruled here,
when does he have possession of the football?
Zimmerman does not come down to make a play. So Chapman took it away from him, and I believe Chapman's out of bounds.
Well, it looks like his shoulder.
Take a look at this now. This is a toughie, folks. But Chapman goes out of bounds after he takes it away.
I think it really depends on when he has possession, because it looks like Zimmerman has it, and then Chapman takes it. By the time he takes it, his right knee looks like it's touching out of bounds. If Zimmerman right there gets his foot down.
If he had
the ball,
when
but he
the
didn't.
foot came down.
Yeah, but he didn't.
Chapman's taking the ball. Okay, they ruled that Zimmerman had possession and got the 1 foot down. There's no question. And there's a young man who, like you said, Herbie, he wanted his second pick. And they gave it to Chapman.
That's what yeah.
So he does have his second interception as he took it away. Hubert is the running back. He spins out to the 28-yard line. And coming up on the Capital One halftime report, John and Jesse will have all the day's big highlights.
Talked about a key for Oklahoma State being Wes Lunt, the true freshman in this environment. How would he perform? He had to avoid the turnovers and for the most part played pretty well in the first half. The last two possessions, the pick six, then he's moving a team down the field, the interception. Remember when they were in Tucson earlier this year, they battled against Arizona but lost on the road because of 3 of his interceptions.
Right up the middle. Hubert back on the field, bolts out to the 44-yard line with 15 seconds remaining, and the clock is stopped with the timeout.
He gets upfield in a hurry. Really a good compliment to this Kansas State offense and their style with Colin Klein.
15 yards on the play. Good for a wild.
So those of you who keeping one eye on Alabama, they just ran a quarterback draw, and going into halftime, they're going to lead LSU 14-3. Les Miles gambled on a long field goal and gave Alabama field position, and they took advantage of it in the closing minute of the first half. So it is going to be 14-3. First down and 10. And here it is 31-17. Unbeaten Kansas State ranked right behind Alabama, in command of the freshman quarterback and this young Oklahoma State team. Klein got time, complete to the 40-yard line, and Harper stops the clock by getting out of bounds with 9 seconds to go. You know what Coach Snyder's trying to do, at least get yourself a field goal here if you can in the last 9 seconds.
Nice one-on-one matchup. Again, Klein in rhythm with his receivers, and Kentelly's 11-12 this year with field goals, so he's a real asset and strength. His long this year is 42, so they still need some yardage here to get within his range.
Kansas State out of timeouts, but they can work the near side and the short side of the field right now, try to get out of bounds. Klein looking in that direction. He's got to hurry. Deflected, incomplete. 4 seconds on the clock. Robinson deflected that ball. That's about the third pass he's had deflected.
Yeah, and he also was just late. I mean, that was a poor decision. He had his tight end near the boundary, and I think he got a little bit selfish there. Instead of taking a 7 or 8 yard gain, he waited for one of his deeper routes to be able to pick up a first down and be able to stop the clock. But if he would have thrown to his tight end, he would have been able to get out of bounds.
So the final play here coming up, 3 wides for Kansas State over to the right side. Klein rolls, gonna have to heave it. Here comes the hail Klein. Thompson had it, and I think the forward lateral would have brought it back. But Thompson, watch this athletic move as he goes up and comes down with the football, and watch and see what he does.
Got to throw it to Chris Harper.
Let's check in with Heather and Coach Snyder. Heather.
Brent, thanks so much, Coach. A fumble recovery, a pick six, an interception. How has the defense helped set the tone in the first half?
Well, I think we're playing awful well defensively. We've given up 10 points, and probably 7 of that was legitimately against our defense. So, you know, my guess is we're playing well, but we've given up some plays that we shouldn't give up either. So.
And your offense, a little uncharacteristic to start with 2 early timeouts and a penalty. How did you get them on track?
Well, we've got to talk some things over, and we've just got to be more disciplined about the things we're doing. Coach them better.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah, coach him up. All right. Stay tuned, folks, for the Capital One halftime report. John Saunders and Jesse Palmer. A lot of things to show you right after this.